Finally got our hands on the new Avengers game, nigga. Let's get it. And yeah, let's just talk about it. What's good, YouTube? It's your number one hero, Negro Midoriya, aka Black Deku, and I'm going to be talking about the Avengers beta that I got to play over this weekend. And without that, let's just talk about what I liked and disliked about the game. Starting off on a positive note, graphically, the game does look good. I know there's a lot of talk about the character design, but frankly, they never bothered me at all. I think they all look fine. My only real gripe has to do with Iron Man's armor looking kind of underwhelming, but that could just be because I've been spoiled by his designs in the MCU. My second positive is for the ensemble cast of characters. It's fun being able to play as your favorite Marvel superheroes, each equipped with their own unique set of skills and abilities, my favorite being Iron Man's. Flying around and using many of the weapons in his arsenal, most notably the Hulkbuster, made for somewhat of a good time. Also, a data mine revealed that there will be even more playable characters in the game, such as Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, War Machine, and others, and probably even more that we're not aware of yet since this is a live service game. Now for what I did not like about this beta. The first one of which is the camera. It's slow, it's stiff, and it just tends to do whatever it wants. For me, it felt just way too sluggish. As for the targeting mechanic, I found it inaccurate, oftentimes locking onto the wrong enemy. Playing with Iron Man, and yes, I know I play with him too much, he's my favorite superhero, I couldn't even hit targets that were just slightly below him while he was in the air. Also, for some reason, using a special move unlocks the targeting, so I'd have to lock on again every single time I used one. This was most noticeable against the boss fight with the Abomination. Alright, so next up is the level design, which I found bland, empty, and uninspired. These levels are wide open as all hell, with nothing really to explore, while simultaneously still being linear in its mission structure. There was nothing that enticed me to explore the maps, so I just ran from objective to objective until I completed the mission. Speaking of the mission design, oftentimes you'll find yourself holding points or taking control of computers until you hit 100%, destroying objectives, or defeating waves of enemies in an area. Rinse and repeat. I found myself unfulfilled and dissatisfied over most of the missions that I played. Remember, this is just the beta, but I would not be surprised if most of the game was like this. Now onto the combat. In this game, you have your standard heavy and light attacks along with various special moves and abilities unique to each character. I found it tedious after a couple hours of play. The game takes the beat 'em up route, and frankly, I think this game should have gone with a much deeper and more complex combat system. There is no strategy to defeating your enemies except to beat the hell out of them until they die, or knocked unconscious according to this game, despite the fact that I just smacked this nigga over the head using the Incredible Hulk. But anywho, don't get me wrong, hitting a nigga in the head with Thor's hammer or caving a motherfucker's chest in with Captain America's shield is fun. I just don't know how it's gonna hold up in the long run. My final negative is that this is a live service game. I'm just not a fan of them. Maybe you like live service games, but games like Destiny, The Division, and Anthem never did anything for me. I found all those games to become overly repetitive over time and lack content at launch, only to be bolstered well after their initial releases. I hope that isn't the case with this game, but I wouldn't be surprised. But I could be wrong. This is just the beta, but I played all those other games, so I'm being a little pessimistic right now. Personally, I would have preferred if we had just gotten a single-player story-driven Marvel game instead. In conclusion, I was disappointed with what we got in this beta. It's not bad per se, but it's extremely flawed. I'm gonna run the beta once it's open again later this week to see if my opinion changes on anything. But right now, I don't feel good about this game. I feel like this Avengers game has the potential to fall off a cliff in a matter of months, even with additional DLC. Right now, I am very much on the fence about this game, but we'll see how it turns out once the full game is released in just a couple of weeks. Alright, that's all I got for y'all today. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure to follow me on my Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. All of that in the description box below. And that's all I got for y'all in today's video. See y'all.